Carolyn Doobie here. What's the play for today? Oh, today I'm playing around with a stencil, the rainbow, and a gel plate. Now the stencil that I'm using is this one. I love the perspective in this one. It's from StencilGirl Products, and it is going to create a rainbow room for me in my art journal. Now you're going to see me gel printing directly into my art journal, and I might tell you a few of the reasons why it's so handy to use a gel plate with a stencil. There's so many reasons why I love using stencils with a gel plate. One of them is the fact that when you put a stencil on top of the plate, they grab each other. So it's going to stay in place. I'm going to get it where I want it. I just press it down a little bit and they're stuck together. I mean, not really stuck, but it's going to stay in place. So that means when I put paint on it, the image isn't going to slide around. That means because there's kind of a suction between them, that it's going to help keep paint from going underneath it, so that I don't have to be as careful when I'm doing things. It means I can use a little more paint because, well, I'm the kind of person that seems to use a lot of paint when using a gel plate. Now, since I'm building an art journal page with this, I'm going to clean my brayer off directly into my art journal. Now, I will confess that that's not a completely random reason why I'm doing it. Part of the reason is this stencil is shorter than my paper is wide. So if I take this stencil and put it right on my art journal page, it's not going to fit the way I want. Now, is that a big deal? Nah, I just call that an oops, an outstanding opportunity presenting suddenly. Because what I'm going to do is use the cleaning off of the brayer to fill in the top and the bottom of the art journal page so that I can put the stencil in between them. Now, another reason that I love using a gel plate with stencils is because of how fast things go. If I were going to try and do this with a brush or a cosmetic sponge, it would take me longer than when I'm just rolling a brayer along a stencil stuck to a gel press plate. Now, once I get the rainbow all over this stencil, I'm going to lift the stencil up and you're going to see another advantage to doing something on a gel plate instead of doing it directly onto paper. So right there you can see what I've got the image, what I'm going to be popping down onto my art journal page. But when I flip it over, you can see through a gel plate, so I can see where it's going to be positioned before I actually commit and push it down. That way I've got it nicely positioned between those stripes of color on the top and bottom of my page. Now, another benefit is when I lift the plate up, what you're going to see is the effect of doing a mono print with it, because the paint isn't going to be perfect everywhere. It's going to look very artistic and wonderful, and I didn't have to do any extra work for that. The plate did all the hard part. Now, there's still plenty of pattern and color happening on that plate, and I'm not going to waste any of that. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper and put it right on there to grab a print. And this print's called a ghost print, and it's going to look a little bit different than the one that I put in the art journal because there's a little less paint on it. So it's getting even more artsy as it goes. But we're not done yet. There's still more paint to use up. I'm going to take the paint that's on the stencil and I'm going to put it back onto the plate. Not only am I going to use all the color, but this is a great way to get any excess paint off of your stencil. Hint, this is one of the ways that I clean my stencils. Now, if you'd like to know more ways to use stencils and a gel plate, I've got a new workshop called Gel Printing Fundamentals, and I cover all sorts of different things that you can do with stencils in that workshop. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of things that you can do with stencils and with a gel plate. Now, another reason that I love using stencils this way is because of the volume of prints that you can get quickly, as well as how they're all a little bit different. They're clearly related, like they belong in a set together, but they're not the same thing. When I put these two prints side by side, you can see how they would make a great coordinating set of papers without being identical. Well, thanks so much for joining me for today's play. And if you'd like to know more about how to make gel prints that you love without the guesswork, without the randomness, then check out Gel Printing Fundamentals. Well, thanks so much for letting me be a part of your colorful journey.